Officials rejected today U.S. President Donald Trump's offer of talks without precondition as worthless and humiliation after he acted to reimpose sanctions on Tehran following his withdrawal from a landmark nuclear deal. Separately, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said that Trump's repudiation of the accord reached in 2015 was illegal and Iran would not easily yield to Washington-renewed campaign to strangle Iran's vital oil exports. Afghan officials said today at least 15 people were killed in eastern city of Jalalabad when gunmen stormed a government building, trapping dozens inside after a suicide bomber blew himself up at the entrance gate. The attack underlines the country's dire security situation after 17 years of war, with the IS group increasingly claiming on civilian targets, even as pressure builds for peace talks between the Western-backed government and the Taliban. There was no immediate claim of responsibility, though the Taliban issued a statement denying involvement. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan's spokesman said today that his country will retaliate against any U.S. sanctions over the trial of a U.S. pastor on terrorism charges, but expects the two countries to resolve their differences through diplomacy. The presidential spokesman also said the foreign ministers of the two countries who are attending a meeting in Singapore will hold talks this week. Meanwhile, a Turkish court rejected today an appeal for U.S. Pastor Andrew Branson to be released from house arrest during his trial. Zimbabwe's opposition said today that its candidate Nelson Chamisa has won the presidential election. The MDC alliance says the ruling ZANU-PF party is attempting to rig the vote to allow President Emerson Mnangagwa to win, and the delay in releasing official results is unacceptable. The Election Commission has said there has been no cheating and it needed time to collate the vote. The polls were the first since long-serving ruler Robert Mugabe was ousted. Central African Republic's officials said today 3 European journalists were killed overnight by unidentified assailants who ambushed their vehicle. The officials added that 2 Russian and 1 Ukrainian were killed by armed men who emerged from the bush. A presidential spokesman said earlier that the bodies of 3 people of European appearance had been found near the Sibot town by the army, but that he did not know their nationality or profession. North and South Korea held military talks amid rising tensions after the United States detected renewed activity at a North Korean missile factory. The meeting, their second since June, was designed to follow on from an inter-Korean summit in April, at which the leaders of the two Koreans agreed to defuse tension and halt all hostile acts. Moving to financial news, U.S. stocks rose today, led by industrial companies after a report that the U.S. and China were trying to resume negotiations to defuse a trade war. By midday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up 121.44 points. The S&P 500 was up 13.52 points, and Nasdaq Composite was up 36.65 points. In sports, Britain's tennis champion Andy Murray beat Mackenzie McDonald 3-6, 6-4, 7-5 in the Washington Open's first round in his 4th match following hip surgery in January. In England, Liverpool's former midfielder Charlie Adams said the team is 1 or 2 players short of having a squad capable of winning the Premier League. Finally, checking the weather updates here in Kuwait City, the weather tonight, relatively hot with speed of 15 to 40 kilometers per hour. Minimum temperature expected for tonight is 33 degrees Celsius. For tomorrow, the weather is hot with moderate northwesterly wind with speed of 20 to 45 kilometers. Maximum temperature expected for tomorrow is 36 degrees Celsius, while the minimum is 33. That's all for now. Thank you very much for joining us and have a good evening.